So it's bet you're wondering how my marathon training has been going, and to be honest, it's been going really well. Apart from last week. So last week I had a bit of a blip, and I think I did my long run, and it was 17 kilometers with the walks as well. So it wouldn't have been, I didn't run quite 17, but I was on my feet for 17. And the reason I then bonked for the whole week, pretty much the whole week, was because I didn't fuel properly. So I've not been fueling properly. So from my understanding, carb loading was having a pasta meal the night before. Apparently not so much. Apparently you're supposed to carb load for a bit longer than that and have a little bit more than one pasta dinner. So I'm learning, you know, half of the battle is about eating the right things. So tomorrow I have my long run, my next long run. It's going to be similar, 17 to 18 kilometers with a little bit more running, a little bit less walking. So I thought I would show you what I'm going to eat today in the hope of getting enough fuel to be able to do this run and not completely bonk for next week. So this is 1 egg, 1 banana, and oats. I'm going to make pancakes this morning. So these are protein pancakes. Let's see, I reckon about 50 grams of oats. This just feels like such a lot to eat. 50 grams of oats. So I'm going to mix this up. I could probably do another 10 grams in there. And it's going to take me all day to eat this. Do you remember that film, 3 Men and a Little Baby? I always remember, I can't remember what his name is now, the actor, that said, well, if I'm supposed to feed her every 2 hours and it takes me 2 hours to feed her, do I start the 2 hours from when I start trying to feed her or from the end? Because if it's from the beginning, then I'm going to be feeding her all the time. And I kind of feel a little bit like that with marathon eating, is that this is going to take me so long to eat. And then by the time I finished it, I've got to start making lunch. So this is now 60 grams of oats, a banana, an egg. Right, I'm going to use an unflavoured vegan protein. This is the wrong tub. I'm just reusing the tub because life less wasted and all that. I also need to try to keep my protein powders away from the mice that come in, which I had this week. I started having a munch through my Form Nutrition, which is really expensive. Right, and I'm going to have 40 grams. No, 30 grams because I've got an egg. Unflavoured soy protein. Probably a little bit of milk just to bind it up. So I can already hear the comments. Hang on a minute, she's using vegan protein and then whole milk, cow's milk. That's because I'm not vegan. I'm plant-based, so my majority of my food comes from plants for health reasons rather than animal reasons, but the more I read into it, the more I care about the animals. And also I don't have any nut milk prepared, which I would use nut milk. And now I'm going to try and eat all of this. Wow. I like doing as much preparation as possible. It just means that I have less to do in the day. I feel like all I do is plan what I'm going to eat and cook and eat all the time. I spend more time eating than I do training, but it's important. It's so important. So that is snacks. My pre-workout snack done. My after-workout snack done. Jacket potatoes, and I've also prepped some black rice as well. That takes forever, so I always put that in the steamer when I'm doing anything else. So yeah, I just make sure that when I'm prepping, if I've got the oven on, I make sure the oven is fully full. And if I'm steaming something, then I'll make sure all of the 3 levels of the steamer is full, which is a more efficient way to cook and prep. Less work to do. I already have food in the fridge to eat today, and I just need to make sure that I'm eating enough carbs and calories. So I worked out, so this is what I do, is that I just do what I think is right, and then I get to the end of the day and I log it all on MyFitnessPal and realise that I'm really down. So last night I realised I didn't do any training yesterday, but I realised I'd only just had just over 1,500 calories, and that's just not enough. Even though it wasn't a training day, I still need to carb load for my next long run. I cannot afford, if I'm already burning and my basal metabolic rate is 1,600, I still need to make sure that I'm at least having 1,600 on a non-training day, not 1,500. So I have to get this right. So during my breakfast today, I worked out how many carbs I was supposed to have today, and I think I worked it out to 350. 350 carbs. So that's the day before my long run. I'm having 350 carbs, and I must have a minimum of 2,000 calories today. So my breakfast was, let me tell you, my breakfast today was 802 calories with 96 grams of carbs. So it's a good start. So if I'm planning for 350, wow, that's still a lot of carbs to eat. I've still got another 250 to go in another 2 meals. So I need to make sure that I do that properly. So I've got a pasta in the fridge that I made a couple of days ago. So broccoli and courgette pasta with tofu. And I have some black rice, which I will probably have later with some potato and maybe a fillet of mackerel, something like that. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just guessing, which is what I normally do, I'm going to pre-plan it all into MyFitnessPal and see how that works, and see how far off I am, or how many more I need to add. That's what I'm going to do. I can do that right now while I'm waiting for the potatoes. Steamed broccoli, 100 grams, it's 41 calories, 4 carbs, 4. Okay. Damn. If I put in my bedtime snack of yogurt, then that would tell me how many carbs I need with my evening meal. Okay, today, bedtime, add food, my nighttime yogurt. I've already put it in as a pre-prepared meal. My nighttime yogurt, which is 17 grams of carbs, 12.7 of fat, 8.2 protein, 202 grams of carbs. So I need 150 grams more carbs. This is so much food. Steamed black rice. It's got 72 grams of carbs for 100. That's such a lot. I'm never gonna make this. Okay, so if I had 100 grams of uncooked rice, how much is that gonna make once it's cooked? Hey Siri, how much is 100 grams of uncooked rice when cooked? Yeah. 3 times more of the uncooked rice. So 100 grams of uncooked rice will be 300 grams after cooking. Okay. And it's at this point that I knew I didn't know what I was talking about, and that I had to have a full understanding of how many carbs are in the main carb sources. So I went through my kitchen, I gathered out all of the different carb sources that I had available to me, and I sat down with the weighing scales and a notepad and MyFitnessPal, and tried to work it all out longhand. It made my brain hurt. What I wanted to find out was which of the carb sources would give me the most bang for my buck, the most energy, where there's little stodge in my stomach, because I'm really struggling with how much I have to eat. So it did make my head hurt. But there was a clear winner, and that was the rice noodles, like the vermicelli, followed by a bit of a tiebreaker between macaroni, which is any pasta I suppose, and the buckwheat noodles. So they shared second place. So I've then only now found out that the rice noodles is a fast absorbing carb. So although it would be really good for my pre-run, it's no good as a carb loading source. So I clearly still have some work to do on working all of these things out. It's so blooming confusing. So if you've got a simple way of explaining it to me, then, and to any of my listeners, please do leave a comment and give me some advice, because this is still a sticking point with me. This carb loading struggle is real, people. Real. If you like my content, please like, follow, make a comment, and subscribe. Thank you.